Good day, students. I am Teacher Novelty and welcome to General Biology 2 class. You've probably heard of Charles Darwin. He is best known for his contribution to the science of evolution. But before we get to know him, we need to understand how different people from 17th and 18th centuries tried to answer the question, what is life? But before we go on to our lesson, let me present to you the learning objectives for today's lesson. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to enumerate the scientists and cite their respective contribution in the development of evolutionary thought. You are going to describe also Jean-Baptiste Lamarck's hypothesis on evolutionary change. Then, you're going to discuss Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection and explain the modern synthesis as unified theory of evolution. So, in the past, lots of people were trying to find out how to classify living things. But, thanks to Carolus Linnaeus, in his Binomial System, the struggle was over. Using the Linnaeus Binomial System, which biologists still use today, in which it says that the first name of genus represents a more general category, while the second name or the species is based on the specific characteristics. So for example, try to guess what is the name of the modern humans using binomial system. That's right, we are Homo sapiens, which also means intelligent man. Because of Carolus Linnaeus' invention, he is known as the father of taxonomy. But his classification system did not stop there. So in 1735, he published his classification system in a work called Systema Naturae, which means system of nature. So the highest system of the classification according to Linnaeus' taxonomy, it is the kingdom. The kingdom represents the major divisions of organisms like the plant and the animal kingdom. So below the kingdom is the phylum or phyla. Phyla in the animal kingdom include the chordates, which are animals with internal skeleton, and arthropods, which are animals with external skeleton. So under phyla is the class. Examples of a class is the chordate phylum, which are mammals and the birds. Then class is divided into orders. So orders in the mammal class includes the rodents and the primates. Order is then divided into family. Then family in the primate order include the hominids, which are apes and humans, and hybolatids, which are gibbons. Below family is the genus or the genera. Genera in the hominid family include the Homo or the humans, and Pan are also known as the chimpanzees. So the reason for the need of classification is because of evolution. The theory of evolution was inspired of the gradualism theory in geology developed by James Hutton. So according to this, where it is found that there is changes occurred to Earth. So this theory inspired the evolution theory in paleontology, which is the study of the fossils, are also called as the gradualism, according to which the species appeared by the gradual formation of the ancestral species. Based on this theory, the population of a species is transformed slowly and progressively into a new species by the accumulation of microevolutionary changes in the genetic heritage. But do you know what? The most famous theory of evolution was the natural selection by Charles Darwin. It took years to Darwin to form his theory, and his reasoning was developed through the contribution of others. His reasoning went like this, just like Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Charles Darwin assumed that species can change over time, and same goes to the fossils. Lamarck found help convince him of that. From Charles Lyell, Darwin saw that Earth and its life were very old. Thus, there had been enough time for evolution to produce the great diversity of life. So Darwin could grow faster than their resources. This overprotection of offspring led to a struggle for existence, in Darwin's words. From artificial selection, Darwin knew that some offspring have variations that occur by chance and that can be inherited. In nature, offspring with certain variations might be more likely to survive the struggle for existence and reproduce, so they would pass their favorable variations to their offspring. Darwin coined the term fitness also, which refer to an organism's relative ability to survive and produce fertile offspring. Nature selects the variations that are most useful to this. Therefore, he called this type selection as natural selection. So Darwin knew that artificial selection could change domestic species over time. And then he also inferred that natural selection could also change species over time. In fact, he thought that if a species code enough or change enough, it might evolve into a new species.
This is Lithopodius nulla, a simple creature with a tendency, like any other species, to reproduce offspring. Lots of offspring. Although the offspring inherit many characteristics of their parents, no two individuals in the population are exactly the same. This variation is vital to the survival of the species, as only a fraction of the Lithopodius will actually survive long enough to reproduce themselves. As a result, only those with characteristics that are best suited for survival in the environment will pass on these successful traits to the next generation. Those with characteristics less suited to the environment are less likely to survive and reproduce. This process is called natural selection, and over time and generations, it leads to the build-up of favorable characteristics in the population of a species. The result is a transformation of a population over time to suit its environment. This is known as adaptation. Environmental pressures can also change. But as long as variation in a population exists, new adaptations can occur, ensuring the survival of the species.
So now let me check if you remember today's lesson. Again, what is Carlos' system that helped classify living things? Great job! That is Binomial System. Let's try again another one. Who developed the theory of evolution by natural selection? Correct! It is Charles Darwin. I hope that the development of evolutionary thought will help you understand that Change is difficult, but not to change is fatal. Once again, I am Teacher Novelty saying to you, learning science is always fun.